Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Let's just get our best performance together and lock in on Oklahoma. We have as good a chance as a lot of teams to advance in this tournament.
Let the madness begin. Today is Selection Sunday, and the UConn men's and women's basketball teams found out where they've been seeded for the March Madness tournament. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. It's been a rough season for the two-time defending national champs, and it won't be the easiest path to a third straight title, but the men's team is gearing up for the road ahead.
As for the UConn women, they have a chance this season to go for an even dozen as Gino Auriemma and company seek their 12th national championship. Fox 61 Stefan Reels has more from the UConn Stores campus.
It was one of the biggest nights of college sports of the year. You had people across the country praying that their teams would make it into the NCAA tournament. Unfortunately, for people like myself, very big ask for my Virginia Tech Hokies. But as for our friends here, the UConn Huskies, almost a certainty. And depending on how the tournament goes this year, we could be witnessing history being made twice. While spring break on UConn campus can be quiet,
Go Huskies!
it isn't keeping the excitement of March Madness away.
It'll be amazing to see that, even if it's not in real life.
And if they kind of tamp down, I really think they're going to come through.
The men hope to go for their third straight national championship, something that hasn't been done by any other men's team since the 60s. UCLA, just for those wondering. The Huskies head into the big dance as the 8th seed in the West region, facing off against the 9th seed, the Oklahoma Sooners, in Raleigh, North Carolina. Their game is Friday. Here's what the team had to say.
We've had the battle just to put ourselves in position to do this, whether it's injury or the disastrous trip to Maui. We've had to battle our way.
We're going to have to continue to get better every single day. We're going to have to pay attention to the scouting and execute everything that we need to on the defensive end. I've been working my whole life for this, and this is kind of opportunities you get where you just dream of as a little kid. So, I'm more excited than anything.
The women, on the other hand, they've won 4 national titles in a row. But the big news here is if the Huskies can win the tournament, it will be their first national championship in almost a decade and a dozen in school history. The women enter the tournament as the 2nd seed in Region 4 Spokane, and they face off against the 15th seed Arkansas State on Saturday at UConn. The men's basketball tournament first 4 will officially hit the courts on Tuesday in Ohio at the University of Dayton. In stores, Stefan Reels, Fox 61.
All right, Stefan, thank you. Now, there are several other Connecticut teams dancing in the NCAA tournament. The Yale Bulldogs are back in the big dance for the 2nd straight year after winning the Ivy League. They are the 13th seed in the South region and will face the 4th seed Texas A&M in the first round out in Denver. Meanwhile, on the women's side, the Fairfield Stags are in the tournament as the 12th seed in the Spokane 2 region. They play the 5 seed Kansas State in the first round. Fox 61 Sports Director Jonah Karp will have much more on March Madness coming up a little later on in sports. All right, it's going to be a rainy night for anyone who has to be out in it. Heavy rain and wind expected to last overnight.
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is timing it all out for us. So, Rachel, when will the wet weather move out of the area?
I think we're going to see the wet weather move out around 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow night. But the worst part of this storm, that will be overnight into early tomorrow morning. So luckily, a lot of this rain will end up falling, at least the worst of it, while we're sleeping. But part of that might encroach on the morning commute. So we'll say between 11 p.m. and about 8 o'clock in the morning is when we'll see the heaviest rain. Now, don't be, fooled by that 8 o'clock time frame. Again, after that, we will continue to see rain. I just don't think it is as heavy or as widespread. Looking at wind, I think we'll see the worst wind between now and around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. As we head towards daybreak, the wind will start to diminish, but you might want to secure any loose items that are out there in the backyard. It's not enough for significant outages, but there could be a few isolated outages. And keep an eye on the basement tonight if you have one that typically floods. Some flood-prone areas might have troubles out there overnight into early tomorrow. We've got some rain in eastern Connecticut right now, but nothing terribly heavy. And notice if we look to the west, you'll see a line of storms. We look to the south, you'll see some storms. And all of this is part of a slow-moving cold front that'll be moving through the area as we head through the next 24 hours or so. Here's a look at gusts anywhere from 15 to about 37 miles miles an hour. We could see higher gusts up to about 45 miles an hour overnight. Look at this, 4 o'clock in the morning. You might wake up before the alarm clock goes off, hear a rumble of thunder, and hear the rain coming down on top of your roof. Again, you might want to leave yourself some extra time to head off to work, heading in the morning, and then keep the umbrella by your side even as we head through the afternoon. A full look at your forecast and the improvement that follows coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. We're learning more about the victim who was killed Friday night. Myron Myers of Hartford was shot and killed, and Hartford police say they found him outside the American Legion on Main Street. Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot has more.
Friday's shooting marked the third homicide of the year in Hartford. Religious leaders and community members are hoping and praying the violence ends soon.
My prayer and hope is that this will be a less violent summer and that these altercations and things will be decided in other ways.
Hartford police are investigating the third deadly shooting in the city this year. Officers responded to shots fired on Friday night near 2121 Main Street, just outside the American Legion Post 142. That's where they found 35-year-old Myron Myers had been shot. Officers tried to resuscitate him there before he was sent off to the hospital, but he died a short time later. Friends of Myers didn't want to show their face on camera after what happened to him, but they say they're heartbroken and they'll miss him.
He was a good guy. He was a lovely person. Lovely. He'd give you the shirt off his back. I miss him so much. Everybody loved him.
Senior pastor at Urban Hope Refuge Church, A.J. Johnson, said gun violence impacts the whole community, and it's the reason why he and other city leaders are trying to put an end to this crisis.
When we experience gun violence in this community, it never just affects one person, it affects the entire community, and it sends shockwaves. And so my heart certainly goes out to his family and to the community that has to go through this.
Family members and loved ones are expected to gather for a vigil Wednesday night to remember Myers.
He had kids. He had a big family that loved him. I loved him. I knew him 5 years. I loved him.
The investigation into the murder of Myron Myers is still ongoing. Anyone with any information is urged to contact Hartford Police Department. In Hartford, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Thank you, Kay. New tonight, 2 people are without a home after their house caught fire in Manchester. Firefighters responded to Highland Street just after 1 this afternoon after a neighbor called 911. When fire crews got to the scene, they found light smoke coming from the home. They were able to put out the fire within 5 minutes, and there were no injuries at all reported. The homeowners were not home at the time of the fire, and the cause is under investigation. Now, take a look at these photos from East Hampton. This was an outdoor sauna before it went up in flames last night. Fire crews responded to Sturbridge Road. When they arrived on scene, they found this outdoor sauna engulfed. Firefighters say it was in close proximity to a house, but they were able to keep the fire from damaging the home. And then look at this from Westport. Officials say a lithium-ion battery from an electric snowblower caught on fire Saturday morning. The snow removal company reported that a spare battery began heating up and hissing and then started to smoke before the flames broke out. That battery was moved away from the building and the fire was eventually put out. Firefighters remind people to check these kinds of batteries for signs of damage or swelling before use.
The NYPD is looking for whoever set a man on fire in Times Square early this morning. Investigators say it happened near West 41st Street and 7th Avenue. Officers found a 45-year-old man there on fire. They extinguished the flames. He was taken to the hospital for burns to his face, chest, and arms. We haven't received an update, though, on how he's doing tonight. Police believe the victim knows who did this to him. Well, 59 people are dead and 150 were injured in a fire at a nightclub in North Macedonia. It happened early this morning. The fire broke out while a local band was performing. The Interior Minister says 20 victims are still being identified. Officials believe a fireworks display is most likely the cause of that fire. Neighboring countries like Greece, Albania, and Bulgaria have offered to help after this tragedy. Connecticut State Police say a driver had to be cut out of their vehicle after crashing in Ellington this morning. Troopers and emergency personnel got to the area of Lower Butcher Road. Firefighters pulled the only occupant from that car. They were taken to the hospital with only minor injuries. The road reopened a few hours later.
Well, the Windsor Locks Fire Department is mourning the sudden passing of one of their own. Fire Lieutenant Andrew Hill, known as Drew, died Saturday at the age of 52. Lieutenant Hill joined the department in August of 2001 and was promoted to lieutenant in December of 2023. His fire department family says he was an apparatus steward and helped ensure the safety and performance of critical equipment. He is survived by his wife and 2 daughters. Hill's cause of death has not been released at this time. The Waterbury Police Department is mourning the loss of one of their own as well. Officer Vincent Lombardi passed away Thursday. His obituary says he died following a battle with sarcoma. Officer Lombardi joined the Waterbury Police Department in 2020 and was said to be a beloved figure with the city's Police Athletic League. He was just 28 years old. If you'd like to read up more on all of these stories, just scan the QR code on your screen and download the Fox 61 News app. And we have an update tonight on Pope Francis and his continued health recovery. The Vatican released the first photo of the Pope in more than a month since he's been in the hospital. The Pope was seen in a wheelchair in front of an altar in the hospital chapel, participating in a mass with other priests. The Pope is continuing to recover from double pneumonia. Doctors said this week the Pope is no longer in critical condition, but is complex due to his age, lack of mobility, and the loss of part of a lung. And we are following breaking news from East Hartford tonight, where police say a person was hit by a vehicle. It's happening near the intersection of Hillside Street and Burnside Avenue. Police report that person suffered significant injuries, and the driver is still on scene, cooperating with police. We have a Fox 61 News crew headed to East Hartford, and we'll bring you any new information as it becomes available to us.